I think there's so much of, you know, we're an improved team from last year in that regard, is that we, you know, every time you get in these type of battles, and even when things don't go your way, we're you know, we find a way to overcome it. And, you know, it's why we have the guys that we have, why we built the team that we've got, and the lessons that have been learned from last year, you know, and make you stronger, make you better. And so, man, our guys they're a resilient group, and they won't go away. And, you know, you feel like 3 timeouts in 2 minutes, you can make anything happen, and our guys just kept battling. Defensively did an outstanding job, you know, that second half to come out and, you know, interception, punt, interception, 3 punts, and then force a missed field goal. 2 takeaways. You know, Carlton Davis came up huge. Those guys were outstanding. You know, offensively, it was really about the fourth quarter. You know, after the interception, then, you know, we finished that game with points, touchdown, and 2 field goals. And our guys showed up, man. St. Brown showed up when we needed him. Gibbs showed up. Goff showed up. Dave Montgomery, Sewell, Frank. You know, our guys showed up. And certainly Bates. You know, Bates was big. And that whole operation, Hogan, Fox, Holden, you know, I think that you forget that. You know, it's like Hogan's a rookie too. Those are 2 big, those are big plays. You know, I thought Vaki was really good on the units, special team units. Talked about Frank had a big game for us. Man, he played really well again. So total team effort once again. And every time you figure out, you know, how to win in that adverse environment, conditions, you get better and you learn from it. And we just continue to harden ourselves, and we just go, man. And I feel like we're gaining momentum going uphill, because that's where we're at. We're in November, and the teams that can begin to gain momentum going uphill are the ones that are dangerous, and I feel like that's where we're at. And I just want to, one more time, man, our fans are unbelievable the way they're traveling right now. And I heard them in the fourth, you know, and I try not to pay attention to any of that, but it was noticeable with their offense out there. And the false start was critical that was forced. So can't say enough good things about our guys, our fans. So questions?
When you say some of the lessons learned from last year, I'm sure it's not just one game, but when you think about that San Francisco game, was that part of it, of flipping the script? And I mean, that it was kind of the opposite. You guys were in charge there, and then the second half, things didn't go your way, and you couldn't recover. This time it was the other way. You guys came back in the second half, made some corrections. Is that part of the learning you need to do to stay resilient?
I think that was a little bit of something we talked about yesterday at halftime, you know. And I know that, you know, Ben had mentioned that to the offense, like this is San Francisco in reverse, you know, and it's what they were able to do and what they were able to overcome against us. We were able to do that here. And, you know, that's kind of one of those last lessons learned, to have the ability to overcome when, man, nothing's going your way. Now, our defense played well, and if they don't, we don't get back into that. But you're talking about 5 turnovers. I mean, the odds of winning a game like that are slim to none. And to be able to just hang in there and believe you still got a chance. You still have the ability. It's going to flip any minute. It's going to flip any minute. You know, when you get that belief and you get that type of production when you need it, you know, you are a dangerous team.
You mentioned the 2 interceptions. But what else do you feel like were the keys on defense that allowed this?
Shut down the run. I mean, Mixon was, to me, he was the most dangerous player that we had to deal with for them. He was the guy, and we felt like they were going to try to force the issue with him. And he's a violent runner. He gets yards after contact, and man, we shut him down. I mean, they gave him 28 carries, 56 yards, you know, which is big. And so really we kept them one-dimensional, and I thought that was a big part of it. Now, you know, we need to be able to get off the field, particularly in the first half on some of those. Man, we had a 3rd and 18. We don't get off the field. A couple other things that happened, but at the end of the day, man, we forced them into a game that we wanted to play. That was big. So that is the biggest, I felt like. Obviously, the 2 takeaways were big, but, the other thing, to be able to, it's one thing that, you play defense, you're able to stop the run, you got the 2 takeaways, but when you're talking about the 5 turnovers on offense and your defense just found a way or held them to a field goal, and then, bam, that happens within 2 plays, interception, they're back on the field. Get a stop, back on the field, field goal. And to be able to just continue to do that, man, take the field, let's hit it on a run, and go out there and put the fire out. Man, that's big. That's not an easy thing to do, but there again, it's credit to AG, the defensive staff, and those guys on defense. Man, they believe, and that's what they're there to do.
Confident in what you were getting in Zadarius Smith, but just to see him coaching up the D-line and the sideline yesterday and being that involved and engaged with your team, what did that mean to you to see him do those things?
Yeah, I mean, there again, he's a veteran guy. He's been around it, and he's wholly embraced the 8 wins. Hey, we got 8. He's just walked in the door. But yeah, like I say, Look, it's one of the reasons he's been a good player. It's not just the physical ability he's got. He's been around it. He's seen it. He's pretty instinctive. He understands the game, and so those little things that come up, you never know how that's going to hit with one of our players that's in real time. So man, those are good. I know he just got here, but he's in, man. He's in it, and he's ready to go. I know he was chomping at the bit to play, and he's about to play. So, he's going to be ready to roll.
Before you didn't originally arrive here, the team had a reputation of finding creative ways to lose games.
Yeah.
But now that you're here, you're finding different ways to just pull out victories. And it kind of starts from your introduction speech. They kind of taking on that persona. I know winning the Super Bowl is the ultimate goal, but just for right now, how proud are you that this team is taking on your mantra and the coach that you and the whole regime have instilled here?
Well, yeah, I'm real proud of him. I mean, that's part of our identity. I mean, that's part of our core foundation, man. That's why grit's up on the wall. Because it doesn't matter how much talent you have. It doesn't matter, how good your coordinators are or how good. Man, without that as your bedrock, you'll be an inconsistent team, I believe. You win one, and you may lose. You may win, you may lose. But when you've got that and you're made that way, and our team embraces that, they buy into it. It's why we have the camps that we have, training camp. It's why we do what we do. It's why we pad up. It's why we go live. It's why, and it's money in the bank. You invest in that early so that it pays dividends as the season goes, because you can't do it during the season. And I think that hardens your team. You put them in pressure situations. They buy into that. You figure out who can steady their heart rate and make big plays in the moment. Pressure situations, and the guys that maybe that's not their deal, and you get them out of the way. But that's part of who they are. Like that's who we are. Our players know that. That's their identity. That's our identity.
How big of an addition has Carlton been, and not just what he does on the field, because obviously we see that, but just what he's meant in that room for the young guys too, and seeing a guy who handles himself the way he does. Has he been everything that you hope he'd be when you traded him?
Absolutely, and then some. That's been an outstanding addition. And as a matter of fact, I told him Saturday night, we're in a special teams meeting. I slipped right behind him. I think I said this yesterday. I said, man, one of the best moves we made was acquiring you, getting you here. And there is nothing better than a cover corner who runs, hits, tackles, fills the run, no fear. And then you see what he's able to do with those takeaways yesterday. And he is good for that room. He is a veteran guy. He's a guy who's been around it for a while. There's things that he understands and can kind of help the young guys with, technique-wise, or things that you see when it comes into game planning. And look, man, he's all in, and he's playing at a high level, and I feel like he's another guy. He's just gaining momentum. You know, his confidence continues to grow, and he's gaining momentum. So I'm thankful we got him here.
A couple of personnel things on Za'Darius. Was that even a discussion for him? And then you kept Sewell at right tackle. You know, years past, you moved him to the left when Decker's been out. Obviously, had some key blocks. I don't know if that was game plan related or just maybe you can explain that.
Yeah, look, there was just a little bit. Yeah, there was a thought about playing him, but we just felt like the right thing to do was to sit him this week. We just did. We'll let him get his bearings, and there again, you know, that's a game off his body, and now we can go. And then as far as Sewell, you know, we felt like when the injury happened with Decker and feeling like there's a chance he may not play, the hay was kind of already in the barn. And so let's leave Sewell at right. That's where he took his reps. I mean, most of it was we got into Thursday and we're running, you know, we're in pads, live reps, we're moving. And that's where he got his reps. And then Skipper filled in at left tackle and got those reps there. And so let's not make this switch to where, okay, Skip, I know you got those reps there. Go to the right, Sewell, vice versa. We just felt like it was better to do that. And then it worked out that it just happened to work out. There was a number of plays that went Sewell's way, and, you know, the rest is up to him. He made some unbelievable blocks. And, man, I thought our backs ran hard, and I thought, you know, Gibbs set up a number of blocks, did a really good job on the perimeter of, you know, I mean, that one, he almost takes it all the way down the sideline. He kind of dips and sets up Sewell's block and then goes around the perimeter and barely steps out. But yeah, Sewell, you know, and if we had two Sewells, you know, one would be a tight end. Just saying. The other one would be a tight end.
Laporta, okay.
Yeah, it's still, look, it'll be day to day, but not, you know, we don't feel like this is something like, oh, man, this is going to be a long, nagging injury. I think we'll get through it. I'm hopeful this week, but I can't say that he's questionable.
Yeah.
Decker's questionable, but trending the right way.
Yeah, just, you know, sure feels good just paying 47 on the Cowboys, 52 on the Titans, but coming back against a good team like this on the road, which victory tells you more about your potential that you can score at will against, you know, some teams, but you can hang in there, you know, and do what you need to do against a good team?
So I would probably always choose the tough teams on the road. You know, that you go to Minnesota, you go to Green Bay, you go to Houston, those are big, you know. I'm about to speak out of both sides of my mouth. But then you go, you know, you go on the road and you're able to put up some points at Dallas and, you know, things like that. That's big too. You know, you're kind of in a different place. It's a different type of opponent. And, you know, no matter what it is, you got to find a way to get up and play your best ball or do whatever it takes to win. And, you know, there again, man, we look back, we're coming out of the bye, and we told the guys, hey, man, we got 4 or 5 on the road. We got to be road warriors. And it's not easy to win on the road. And we kind of got through this patch and 4 for 4, you know. And then counting the home game, Tennessee, you know, we've gotten 5 in a row after the bye. So we're finding a way. We're finding a way. And now the most important thing is, I said it before, it gets harder and harder to win now. You know, the more you win, the harder it is to continue to win. And it's really because of the psyche of, oh, man, you know, that was great. That's a good win. We all feel good. But if we don't clean up some of these errors and we just kind of sweep them under the rug and, hey, I know, but we won, that stuff will creep up and it's going to bite us. And we'll do that. The coaches are on it, and our players are going to be on it, and we just identify it and we stomp it out. Okay.